I'm Emma Ward, 36 years old, living in a small flat above a bakery in Manchester, the kind of place that smells of warm bread every morning and rain every afternoon. That I built my life from scratch. No handouts, no miracles, just deadlines and overdrafts. That morning, my phone buzzed during a client meeting, the kind of buzz that slices through calm. A message from my younger sister flashed on screen. Need £2,000 for my graduation party. Send it today. I froze. 2,000, for one night, one dress, one set of photos on Instagram. I typed back. You're 21, Lily. Get a job. Seconds later, another notification, not from her, from my parents. Pay or don't call yourself family. My stomach turned cold. For a moment, the room blurred. They'd said the quiet part out loud. It wasn't the first time. For years, I'd sent them money just to help out. Electric bills. Car insurance. Mum's medication. Or so I thought, but this was a demand. A transaction wearing the mask of love. That night I paced my kitchen, rain drumming against the window. I'd always believed family meant loyalty, but loyalty, I realized, had turned me into an ATM with a heartbeat. At 11 p.m., I opened my banking app. Joint family account, balance £142. My hands shook. I scrolled. Transactions everywhere. Zara, Hilton Hotel, Lux Hire cars. Not a single utility payment in months. The truth whispered through the silence. They'd been using me. Growing up, I was the background character in my own family. Mum's voice filled every room, sharp as cut glass. Dad was quieter, the man who nodded instead of speaking. Then came Lily, the golden child, their second chance. When she was born, I was already revising for A-levels, stacking shelves at Tesco to afford textbooks. They called me independent, but independence was never a compliment. It was an excuse to ignore me. Mum loved appearances, birthday parties that cost more than rent, handbags bought on sale that never were. She used to say, we may not be rich, but we'll look it. And somehow, I was the one footing the bill for the illusion. By 28, I'd made it to marketing manager at MY. Parents called to celebrate. 2 weeks later, the first request arrived, just £500 for Lily's driving lessons. She's nervous. Darling, be supportive. Then £800 for a short course, then £1,200 because the boiler broke. Each time, I paid. Because saying no felt cruel, because somewhere, that little girl inside me still wanted their approval. But love measured in pounds and pence always ends up overdrawn. That morning's text, pay or leave this family, kept echoing. I reread it until the words lost meaning. Then I noticed a second notification from the bank. Large transaction alert, £4,500 withdrawal, joint account. I hadn't touched it in months. My pulse hammered. I called Mum. Why's money missing? Her tone snapped. Don't be dramatic. We're managing things. Managing what, exactly? Lily's graduation. Don't twist this, Emma. You've always been so ungrateful. The line went dead. Ungrateful, the family password for obedience. By lunch I was at work pretending to design a campaign, but my mind kept replaying the call. The next move was obvious. I texted my old uni friend Alice Bennett, now a solicitor in Bristol. Need your advice. Joint account issue. Urgent. She replied in 2 minutes, come by after 5. Bring login details. That evening, the office lights glowed dim and the smell of coffee hung in the air. Alice typed fast, scrolling through the digital paper trail. Then she frowned. Emma, there have been dozens of transfers, some to credit agencies, some to travel agencies. Look here. She turned the screen. Luxury boutiques. Jewelry. Spa weekends, even exclusive events. Limited, a high-end planner. I felt my throat tighten. That's the graduation party. Alice nodded slowly. They've been siphoning your money for years. Around £70,000, maybe more. The number hit harder than any insult ever could. I left her office and stepped into the rain. Manchester lights blurred on wet pavement. Every drop felt like memory, Mum's excuses, Dad's silences, Lily's demands dressed as innocence. I'd built my independence only to hand it back, one transfer at a time. By midnight, I knew what I had to do. I logged in, pressed close account. A warning popped up. Are you sure? Yes, absolutely. Each click felt like cutting a chain. Then I wrote the message that would change everything. The joint account is closed. I know what you did. No more money. I hit send, my hand steady for the first time in years. The response came at dawn. Mum's text, a paragraph of rage. How dare you accuse us? We needed that money to survive. Dad's was shorter. You'll regret this. Lily's call arrived moments later, her voice dripping panic. You can't do this, Em. You're ruining everything. For you, maybe, I said quietly. For me, it's freedom. She screamed, then hung up. I sat by the window, the city still half asleep, rain tracing lines down the glass. Somewhere between the silence and my heartbeat, I realized I wasn't angry anymore, just empty, and that emptiness felt clean. A week later, I drove to their house in Stockport, the semi-detached one with the plastic roses out front. Inside, the air smelled of lavender spray and denial. Mum was on the sofa, arms folded. Dad stood by the window like he always did, half present, half gone. Lily scrolled on her phone, pretending I wasn't there. I placed a folder on the coffee table. Here's everything. Bank statements. Transfers. £70,000, gone. A second mortgage, hidden credit cards maxed. Explain that. Mum's voice cracked like thunder. How dare you invade our privacy? Privacy? I said softly. You invaded my future. Dad muttered. We had no choice. You had a choice, I replied. You just chose her over me. Lily finally looked up, eyes glassy. This isn't fair, she whispered. No, I said. Fair ended the day you decided I was your bank. Silence, then Mum's words cut the air. You can't just walk away. We're your family. I met her gaze. You walked away first. I turned, leaving their voices echoing behind, anger, guilt, excuses blending into noise. That night, I blocked their numbers. It felt brutal, unmerciful. Weeks blurred into months. I started therapy. Learned that boundaries aren't walls, they're doors you close to keep peace inside. For the first time, I saved money for myself, cooked on weekends. Slept through the night. Then, through a cousin, I heard my parents had declared bankruptcy, their house repossessed. Lily now worked part-time at a boutique in Bristol, folding the kind of clothes she once demanded. Did I feel relief? Not exactly, just a quiet sadness, and somewhere, under it, forgiveness, the slow kind. Some evenings I still scroll through old messages, the ones before everything collapsed. Mum's emojis, Dad's thumbs up, Lily's thanks sis X. I don't delete them, they remind me that love once existed even if it came with receipts. Standing by my window now, the city hums below, Manchester rain falls soft, like a whisper. I think about the girl I used to be, desperate to be the good daughter, the provider, the fixer. She tried her best, but survival sometimes means surrender. I sip my tea, breathe, and let the quiet settle. Family doesn't mean debt. Love shouldn't come with an invoice. And peace, real peace, begins the moment you stop paying for approval. If you've ever been made to choose between loyalty and sanity, choose yourself. You're not selfish, you're healing. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, share it, someone might need it tonight. And if you'd like to hear more true stories like this one, you know what to do, like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Emma Ward, 36 years old, born and raised in Manchester. I used to think survival meant working harder than anyone else, paying the bills, keeping everyone else afloat. I thought that's what love was, until the day my family made me choose between money and myself. It started on a grey Monday morning. I was in a meeting, talking through a campaign brief, when my phone buzzed across the table. A message from my sister, Lily. Need £2,000 for my graduation party. Send it today. I stared at the screen, the number burning into my brain. 2,000. For a dress. For a single night. I typed back slowly, "You're 21, Lily. Get a job." Seconds later, another message arrived, this time from my parents. "Pay up or don't call yourself family." The room disappeared. I could still hear my manager's voice, but the words turned to static. Pay up or don't call yourself family. That sentence, it snapped something inside me. That evening, rain hit the kitchen window like scattered thoughts. I stood there, phone in hand, rereading their words. I'd spent years sending money home. Little transfers for bills, petrol, emergencies. I believed I was helping. But this was no request. It was an ultimatum. My hand hovered over the banking app joint family account, balance £134. I scrolled down, endless transactions, Lux hire cars. Zara. Hilton Hotel Manchester. Not a single utility bill. My throat tightened. They hadn't needed my help, they'd needed my income. I wanted to cry, but the tears wouldn't come. Only a hollow ache and a single thought pulsing through my skull. They've been using me. Growing up, we weren't poor, but we were desperate to look rich. Mum said appearances were everything. Dad just nodded behind her like punctuation. Then came Lily, the miracle baby, their second chance to get it right. When she arrived, I was 17, already stacking shelves at Tesco after school. They called me independent, but it really meant invisible. Mum would beam at Lily in her designer baby clothes while I wore second-hand uniforms. "Don't be jealous," she'd whisper. "One day you'll thank us for being hard on you." At 28, I landed a marketing job, my first real success. They were proud for a week, then the requests began. Just £400 for Lily's driving lessons. £800 for a new boiler. "You're doing so well, love. Help your family out." Every transfer felt like affection purchased on credit. I told myself I was doing the right thing, that good daughters give back. But over time, giving back turned into giving up pieces of myself. Tuesday morning, another notification. Large transaction alert, £4,500 withdrawn. My heart stopped. I called Mum. "Why is money missing?" Her tone sliced clean. "Stop overreacting. We're handling things." "Handling what?" She sighed. "Your sister's graduation. Don't twist this, Emma. You've always been so ungrateful." The call ended with that word echoing in my ear, ungrateful. It's what she always said when I questioned anything. By lunch, I couldn't concentrate. My colleague asked if I was okay. I lied. Just a migraine. But inside, something had shifted. I wasn't their safety net anymore, I was their investment. I texted my old uni friend Alice, now a solicitor in Bristol. "Need your help. Joint account issue. Urgent." She replied instantly, "Come by after 6. Bring login details." That evening, I drove through sheets of rain to her office. The car radio hummed, some sad pop song about betrayal, fitting, really. Alice greeted me with tea and that lawyer calm I'd always envied. "Let's see what's going on," she said, typing fast. Minutes later, she frowned. "Emma, they've made dozens of withdrawals. Credit cards, travel agencies, jewelry stores. Even a second mortgage payment." I leaned forward. "A second mortgage?" "They told me the house was nearly paid off." She shook her head. Looks like they've been borrowing against it. You've funded most of it. Her voice was gentle, but my stomach dropped. How much? I whispered. She clicked, scrolled, exhaled. Around £75,000. 75,000 my money my years my trust. The tea went cold between us. Driving home that night, the motorway lights blurred. I thought about every text that started with just this once, and ended with silence. By midnight, I'd made up my mind. I opened the banking app, pressed close account. A warning popped up. Are you sure? Yes, for the first time in my life, I was sure. Then I wrote one message to the family group chat. The joint account is closed. I know everything. No more money. I hit send. My hands were steady. The storm hit the next morning, not outside, but on my phone. Mum's message. How dare you? We needed that money to survive. Dad's. You'll regret this. Lily's call came seconds later. Her voice was frantic. You can't do this, Em. You're ruining my graduation. For you maybe, I said. For me, it's freedom. She screamed, cursed, hung up. I turned off my phone and sat on the edge of my bed, watching dawn bleed through the curtains. I expected guilt, but all I felt was quiet. A silence so deep it almost hummed. A week later, I drove to their house in Stockport. The garden gnomes still smiled like nothing had changed. Inside, Mum was waiting on the sofa, arms folded, her perfume thick and defensive. Dad stood near the window, the same place he always stood when things got ugly. Lily lounged on the chair, scrolling, pretending she didn't care. I dropped a folder on the coffee table. Here's every transaction. £75,000, gone. A second mortgage, hidden. You've lied to me. Mum's jaw clenched. You invaded our privacy. Privacy? I said softly. You invaded my future. Dad stepped forward. We had debts, Em. You were supposed to help. I did, I said. You just mistook help for permission. Mum's eyes glistened, not with guilt, but anger. You're so selfish. We did this for Lily. I looked at my sister. She smirked. That broke me more than their words. You did it for her. I whispered. Then let her fix it. Mum gasped. You're abandoning us. No, I said. You abandoned me first. Their voices followed as I walked out, anger, pleading, threats. None of it stuck. For the first time, I didn't turn back.